Hi there, it's me again. You know, that one YouTuber who doesn't exist for the most part. Anyway, Super Mario Galaxy was one of my favorite games ever, and the sequel that came 3 years later is right behind it. With good level design, music, gameplay, controls, and more, Super Mario Galaxy 2 was truly a wonderful game. While I like the first game more, this game manages to be just as good as and even better than Galaxy 1 in some regards. But just like every other Mario game, it was no stranger to making me pull my hair at certain points. From hard to make jumps to just plain unfair scenarios, here are the 10 stars that were a kick in the balls to play. But before that, I'd like to give an honorable mention to the Chimps Coin Challenge from Slimy Spring Galaxy. I initially struggled with this star since I didn't know where all the points could come from. I knew coins and star bits would give you them, but I was uncertain of how to get the most bang for my buck. But of course there were hidden catches of coin in covers where I didn't look, and I later found out that you could use a shell to bust open the eels for 300 points each. Oh yeah, you can also get points by killing enemies. Sorry Goombas. Anyway, once you figure how to get all the points, this star becomes a cakewalk. But don't fret, because the next 10 stars are nice and hard even if you know how to them. So with all of that said, here are the top 10 hardest stars in Super Mario Galaxy 2. A stroll down rolling lane on Melty Monster Galaxy. So, Mario Galaxy 2 introduced the Rock Mushroom. This power-up allowed you to turn into a ball and roll through your enemies, as you can probably guess by the look and the star name. The problem with the power-up is it's occasionally wonky controlling. Though thankfully, the power-up uses the joystick instead of motion controls. Anyway, the star is tough. You have to be precise when weaving through the platforms, and you also have to watch out for holes in the ground, as well as crooked platforms. Near the end, there's this long stretch of platforms that you have to precisely jump over with tedious timing. But the end is the worst part. You must rhythmically bounce off these rope platforms to the one with the star on it. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to this platform, but then mistimed my jump and crashed on the edge and died. Or even missed the star, and then while trying to jump for it, missing, then going overboard. The only way the star could be harder was if it required motion controls. But then again, that would make it a star further down this list. But as it stands, this star does provide a good and fair challenge. But it's still on this list. Give me a break already, and let me hit. Oh, fuck this. Pee-wee Piranha's speed run on Sky Station Galaxy. Now, before you judge me for putting a star from the first galaxy on this list, hear me out. This is the prankster comet in the game, and it does a good job showing you how brutal they'll get. You have to run around and collect the clocks to give yourself time. Once you enter the mission, you only have 20 seconds to start with. You have to run around and collect the clocks. And if you don't get one, you will run out of time. Thankfully, the game is nice enough to provide you with plenty of time to get to Pee-wee Piranha. His fight's not too hard, but the main risk is that you'll likely pick up more clocks than you need while running around to avoid him on the planet. Cracking his shell open can take a bit of time, which you don't have much of. So be careful, and only pick up a clock if you need it. Oh, yeah, you have to bust his shell open twice. Once he's exposed, smack his hiney until he's down. Do that again, and you've won. Another good thing is that the timer stops once you beat the boss. Overall, this one's not so bad. And as a bonus, it's the only speedy comet on this list. Silver stars on the Cyclone on Stone Cyclone Galaxy. Oddly enough, I always struggle with this star while I have little trouble with the Speedy Comet. I guess the clocks in the Speedy Comet just tell me where to go, plus the fact that there are no silver stars, and you can just smash the glass with the star at the end. But anyway, the main star is very tough. You must run around the Stone Cyclone area and collect silver stars. But the Tox boxes and thwumps move at a speed much faster than anything I'd be used to. Thankfully, you can slow them down with switches that are temporary but still useful. The first silver star is guarded by a Noctumaba, but he's easy to bypass. The second one is harder, as it's guarded by a Toxbox who you had better hope is switch. Bound. The third one is after the fast platforms over the Cyclone. But again, there's a Toxbox. It'll circle the perimeter, so watch out. The fourth one is by more Toxboxes and thwumps. And lastly, the fifth one is between Toxboxes and mud. But yeah, this star kicks my ass every time I play it, and I respect for being the hardest non-prankster. Comped in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Purple Coin Spin Speed Run on Flipsville Galaxy. So remember how I said that Pee-wee Piranha's speed run was the only speedy comet? Well, I meant as only speedy comet. Well, I meant as only with a timer. This star has a timer and purple coins, so I guess I was technically wrong. Anyway, this star is tough but manageable. It revolves around using the spin drill power-up, which lets you burrow through the dirt. The hard part is trying to get the purple coins whilst in sync with the changing gravity. In one part, there's a fuzzy, and it's messed me up more times than I care to count. With skill, you should be able to get all 100 coins within 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At this part, I have to do some funky spinning to get the coins before gravity changes. It helps that this area loops in a square, allowing you to get everything. So yeah, use your time wisely. The adventure of the purple coins on Clockwork Ruins Galaxy. So, am I the only one who thought this was hard? I don't hear anyone else ranting about it, which is good because it makes my list more unique. Anyway, the star can be brutal. First off, the timer is not the issue. I've never timed out on this star, and with 5 minutes, it's more than manageable. The problem with the star is that I always fall off the rotating gears and have to start all over again. There are coins in little crevices, and I have to climb all over the gears to get them. Sometimes the big part of the end of a gear blocks me, and I fall. My best advice for this star is to go with the flow and keep up with the things that tell you your coin count. They may be what saves your ass.
Cosmic Clone Wall Jumpers on Flip Out Galaxy. The main thing of this mission is going through the original mission, but with cosmic clones on your tail. The clones copy your exact moves, so you have no room to backtrack to get a better jump to some to the platforms. The key is a long jump, then spin. Eventually, you'll be wall jumping. We'll get back to that. After the checkpoint, things really heat up. There's a long stretch of spikes that you must long jump across, and every time I feel like I just barely made it. Also, these one-ups aren't worth it since you'll likely get mobbed by clones while attempting to get them. But then you have the final stretch where you have to wall jump up the alternating red and blue walls, and you have to spin in between each wall jump to swap it. Also watch out for the clone that goes through the red wall. But overall, if you just maintain a calm attitude, then you should get this star with little trouble. Can't really say that for the rest of the stars. Luigi's Purple Coin Chaos on Mario Squared Galaxy. Another star we all saw coming. Luigi's Purple Coins are back with a vengeance. I talked about the original in my last top 10, so I'll keep this one short. The most notable addition is that of cosmic clones, and they're even worse here than they were in the last star. You have to carefully stay off your own path to avoid the clones. It's especially hard at that part where you long jump to the row of coins to the platform, and then long jump back to get the other row. At this part, it long jumped into a clone many times. Another change made is that the yellow platforms no longer rotate, so I'm glad that was done to balance out the cosmic clones. Another good thing is that you can properly adjust the camera at any time, something you couldn't always do. But I still say that this star is harder than Luigi's coin collection in Toy Time Galaxy.
Purple coins on the Rainbow Road on Rolling Coaster Galaxy. Remember gizmos, gears, and gadgets? Well, this star is that one after a 15-hour energy. The amount of rage and frustration I feel while trying to get this star is astronomical. It was so hard that on my playthrough of this game, I had to ask my older brother to beat it for me. I was eventually able to get it by myself, but it wasn't easy. Where do I even begin? To start, there are only 110 purple coins, and you have to get 100. I missed the most coins on the part where you have to slant down to the right, because if I stay on the left to get the coins, I fall. Even worse, near the end, it happens again, and at this point I feel like I completely lose control of the ball. No matter how hard I pull to the right, I stay on the left and die. This part makes this level impossible. And to rub salt in the wound, on the slow parts one occasionally missed the coins in the straight paths, and I would just go back for them, except the timer forces me to just push force. It's all just a test of patience, and it can kiss my fucking asshole. Sorry, I got a bit heated there. Just writing about this star is pissing me off. Let's just move on. Tall Trunks Purple Coin Slide on Tall Trunks Galaxy. So, the last star sucked balls, but at least you could still slow your roll and go back just a smidge for extra accuracy. That's a luxury you don't get in this star. Anyway, the premise of this star is just going down a slide to get coins, and it wouldn't be too bad if not for the fact that you're moving at such a high speed, and there is no way to slow down, except for getting hit, or spinning, but both are very temporary and potentially fatal. At 2 points on the slide, it splits to the top and bottom. While the double rows may be tempting, they also make it harder to get onto the path afterward, so stay with the single row. You should still get enough coins from doing so, but you can go for the double rows with a well-timed spin afterward just in case. At the end, you must avoid wigglers, the red patch plants, and you must jump from log to log. And you must do all of this while still worrying about the coins. One good thing about this star is that the error margin is big. You only must collect 100 out of 140. And since it can be hard to control Mario on the slide, often I try to stay on track but also miss loads of coins. At least spinning does something for me. The perfect run on Grandmaster Galaxy. Yeah, no surprise here. I mean, this star is pretty much guaranteed to be number 1 on any list of this nature. It's a long and drawn-out gauntlet and you must get through unscathed. The first part has you take Yoshi and fling yourself through Bullet Bills and Chop Paw, you know, the green spinning guys. After that, make all these blue platforms yellow, but watch out for the laser-shooting trash cans. The third planet gives you the Cloud Flower, and you must ditch Yoshi now. Sad. Anyway, make clouds to get through the wind, and weave in and out of the electricity. Backflipping will really help here. The fourth planet is when things get really hard. You must rhythmically jump in between these electric shock waves produced by these spiky things, and since I usually have clouds left over, I try to spin as little as possible here. Then you'll see some Rocktos, but you can probably ignore them. Just don't spin their rocks on swap platform. And after that is a planet with more electricity, and it is very precise. Then you see some pull stars, be careful with them, because these Paragoombas love to get in your way. Just be patient here. Alright, to the final test. Just work your way through a shitload of Hammer Brothers and get to the 3 Boomerang Brothers at the end. Kill them carefully, because while getting them, a Hammer Bro is likely to snipe you from off-screen. But once you kill all the Boomerang Brothers, you get to see Rosalina. Yeah, after all the suffering and game overs, you see Rosalina once more at the gate where it all started. But yeah, once you get this star, you are a certified champion. For the time being. And there you have it. This list was once again inspired by the Squid Kid himself, equals Peach. In fact, 5-1 on my list is the same as 5-1 on his list. And no, that was not fully intentional. So I went over the hardest stars, but I'll also say some extra stuff. So, the 2 hardest comet medals are in Wild Glide Galaxy and Fleet Glide Galaxy respectively. Both require you to fly through 5 sun rings to unlock them, and then you must carefully aim for the comet medal. Fleet Glide is especially bad since its second one is in a swirling trail of star bits, and after going through the ring, it's very hard to fly around to get into the next tunnel. This also required aid from my brother. Thanks, bro. As for the hardest green star, I'd say that it's Green Star 1 in Boo Moon Galaxy. It requires you to jump from one snake block to another much faster one, and while trying to keep pace with the snake block, I tend to fall off. You also must avoid some Octoboos. You can either weave in between them, which is hard, or spin to get them out of your way, which slows you down and may make you fall off. But getting the star itself is very hard. You must long jump at just the right time to grab it, but the snake block is still moving, so it throws you off, especially since the green star is in a completely different direction from where the snake block is going. But yeah, with that said, that has been my list for the hardest stars in Galaxy 2. I only enjoy Galaxy 1 a smidge more than 2, but 2 can definitely stand on its own. But with that said, I'm Power Hour, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.